O nameless god of rage and hate.
Every day that we cut trees and dig for iron, the forest and its creatures grow weaker.
I'm getting a little bored of this curse of yours, Ashitaka. Let me just cut the damn thing off!
You heard it up top. On this very special episode, we cover the anime of all animated movies. That's right. Talking about the one, the only, Princess Mononoke. As we continue our Hayao Miyazaki long-form coverage here on Normies Like Us with your hosts, Lady Colin Bosha.
All right, I'll be Mike Izaki. I hate everything.
And this is Jake Ataki.
Jakey Taka, yeah.
Jakey Taka, all right. Yeah. Nice. Well, I'm super excited to be back to Miyazaki. It's been really fun watching a lot of these for me for the first time, but this is one,
yes,
besides Kiki, that I had already seen. So this is the third one that I'd seen with Cagliostro, Kiki, and now Mononoke.
Hey, it's been so long since we've done these movies, Mike, that I forget that some of these are an intro for you. But of course, you've seen this one. You've seen The One for Boys.
The One for
You've seen
Boys,
this one?
Yeah.
You've never seen Spirited Away.
Nope.
You've never seen Howl's Moving Castle.
Nope. Never seen Ponyo. Never seen Boy and the
All
Heron.
for girls, Jacob. This one for boys.
I only watch boy stuff. So. Yeah.
But this one has girls in it too. The titular Princess Mononoke, which isn't actually her name, but they do call her that at times.
Mononoke is like a monster spirit, so it's like the princess.
Yeah, she's the princess of the
forest. Yeah,
the forest,
basically.
Yeah, but this is probably one of his best known in terms of normies. If you ask, oh, do you know Hayao Miyazaki? They might say, oh yeah, I've seen Princess Mononoke, or I've seen Spirited Away, I think would be the other one. But
as far as history, with Mike saying he's seen this one before, I will say that this is the first Miyazaki film I ever saw. This was a blockbuster rental for my brother, who very much has enjoyed Japanese animated films. I believe this was the third we saw after Akira, Ghost in the Shell, and then Princess Mononoke, which I feel like is a very natural progression, right?
That's
great
good.
choices.
No,
and
heavy
yeah,
hitters.
if you're gonna watch 3 anime films, like those are great picks.
And I want everybody to realize that like these are peppered in because the age of blockbuster rentals, where like getting the movie for the night was such a special thing that like these were my brother's choices for like one night a week. We would like, oh, he gets to watch. Wow, we're watching Princess Mononoke. It's like the day before this was like Legally Blonde or something. You know what I mean? Like it was like some horrible twist. It was like Wayne's World for like the 4th time.
Right.
So you're like, oh, your brother wants to watch this Japanese animation film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, Studio Ghibli films, in terms of Western audiences, they always had these good, dubs and stuff where they have these Hollywood actors do the dubs and everything. So they put a lot of, work, with the Disney deal, they put a lot of effort into making those Westernized versions well made.
Yeah, I'll say I have only seen it one time before this, and it was when I first saw it in high school. And I was not mature enough to fully understand this movie at that age. Like I'm having a very different impression. I liked it back then, but I'm having like a greater appreciation for it. Not to bury the lead, so I'm excited to talk about it in that sense as like a
what did you think of
adult.
it when you first saw it?
I thought it was sick.
Yeah.
I'm like, this animation's crazy. That opening scene with the boar is wild. I was like blown away by it, obviously, but some of the themes, it's a little bit deeper than I remember understanding. So that was cool.
Mike, when did you first play Shadow of the Colossus? Was it before or after you saw this movie, do you think?
Oh, it was after the movie for sure.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
But similar vibes, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I remember like the Elden Ring beasts and all that stuff being in it, but I really enjoyed this on a second watching, and it was the first time I watched it in Japanese, because originally I watched the dub, so that was kind of interesting too. But which version did you guys watch? Dub or sub?
I watched, well, I've seen all of them dubbed before.
Right.
And so for this long form watch, I've been watching. Well, some of them I watched the Japanese version and then the English version. I was going to do that with this one, but I just didn't have time, so I just did the Japanese language version. But I have seen it previously in the English language, so I feel like I've gotten both sides of it for this one.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. How about you, Colin?
I was introduced in the Japanese language. I kind of
Nice.
consider this one sacrilege in the way that we discussed in Porco Rosso, where the voice cast is so amazing that I was kind of like, I have to watch this one in English. I did watch it in Japanese to my own surprise. Um, and feel like I've maybe again, like you, Mike, maybe seen the movie for the first time now in a way where like
Yeah.
I've seen this movie 1,000 times, so that's kind of an embarrassing thing to admit, but it seems much more complete now.
The vibes are definitely different. I think the English cast is good in this too. Like when I was pulling clips, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they did do a great job. But yeah, the it hits a little bit different in Japanese. I think specifically this one because it's
Yes.
very directly Japanese in its influence.
Right. It's about Japanese history and you know, religion
Culture
and
and
forest
religion, yeah.
gods and stuff. But the English cast is good. You got Billy Crudup. You got I always remember Jigo is Billy Bob Thornton, and I
Yes,
remember
yes.
watching the
Insane
English. I'm like,
casting.
that's Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Truly insane.
Mini Driver. But yeah, I watched it in Japanese this time as well, and yeah, I thought it was really good.
Nice, nice, nice. And then, do we know what's after this? What Miyazaki movie
Yeah, after this is
follows?
Spirited Away. Is
Which I
next.
haven't seen. Okay, gotcha. So yeah.
This was kind of his era where it's like people were starting to like recognize him as like, oh, Miyazaki is like one of the greatest animators ever, and he was starting to get a lot of attention in America and in the West, and being like, these were kind of getting nominated. I don't know if this is nominated for like best animated film Oscar. I have to look that up.
Probably, but yeah,
Um,
this is like we're past the era of like there was a shitty dub that somebody did. Like now Disney's fully in
yeah,
contracts with them. We're getting high
Yeah.
quality releases in
this is like his
parallel.
prestige era, where before he
Yeah.
might not have been. If you say, "Oh, have you seen Porco Rosso?" to the average person, they'd be like, "I don't know what that is." But if you say
And
What'd
that's
you
Princess
call me?
Mononoke or Spirited Away,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we're entering that era, and I think this one is one of his most ambitious films in terms of conceptually and just the scope of it. It's also it was the most expensive animated film in Japanese history at the time.
Wow.
Since been passed, of course, but at the time it had the largest budget for any
Good Lord.
animated film. And it was like twice as large as like the next biggest Studio Ghibli movie. So it was a big swing for them, and it's Miyazaki's first going into this sort of epic Japanese history kind of film, which he hadn't done
Brought to you
before.
by that guy who made that Lupin that you don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
I know he
Well, I
wanted
like
to. He was scared of being pigeonholed, I guess, into like just the family-friendly stuff, and he's like, I want to do like a samurai epic, and that's what kind of this
Yes.
was for him.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But should we jump into it and
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about
talk
it. Let's
Princess Mononoke?
yeah, let's head into the forest.
We're back. We're here to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Miyazaki, and the myths that he's weaving in this his great epic, Princess Mononoke, the 1997 hit. Now, is that
That's right.
did I get this in America in 1997, or is that just like a Japanese only release?
I think it was
Let me
like the end of '97 it came over. Let me just check real quick.
Yeah, 97 was actually when Disney and Studio Ghibli did this distribution deal. So then the past films were kind of released over a period of years into the 2000s with these new star-studded English dub casts.
Oh.
But this one, I mean, this happened the same year, so this would have been the big one to come over first, I think.
That's so crazy to hit simultaneously. That is such a big shift in the culture.
Yeah, it was that late 90s anime boom when everyone was starting to get into anime over here, and you had Dragon Ball Z.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ball. God bless you, Akira.
We were talking
Right?
about we probably just transitioned out of the Japanimation era where we were finally calling it anime. You know?
Right.
Now, I 100% guarantee, though, that Blockbuster where we picked out Princess Mononoke was in an aisle called Japanimation. Mike.
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
Suncoast
look, that
Video.
term
Yep.
stuck for so long.
Yeah.
It was those three movies you said. You know, it was Ghost in the Shell, Akira, this
Princess
movie, and then
Mononoke.
I think
shows you
called
had like
Appleseed sometimes. Yeah. Oh, Sailor
Appleseed,
Moon,
Sailor Moon,
Dragon
Dragon
Ball.
Ball. Cowboy Bebop for me was like on Toonami, and I would watch. You know, that's kind of how I was introduced to a lot of anime. Was just on Toonami, which was just a block of Cartoon Network. They're like, check out these anime shows,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't know what that is, but I like it.
Yeah.
Um,
Legendary era. This
yeah,
is a legendary move. I'm excited to pod without fear or hate in my heart or whatever.
that's right. Well, this movie,
Oh, Mike, I threw a little rock and a bone. This is going to be a horrible episode for you.
Oh no. Oh
the
no.
signs are not good.
Great
Nope.
shame.
You're
Yeah,
cursed.
I got to leave the podcast forever, and you can't say goodbye.
Sorry. Cut your hair. Turn
All right.
around.
Mm-hmm. Out here.
I can go in a little bit of the conception in the pre-production of this movie.
Please.
Basically, Hayao Miyazaki first had the idea for this movie after releasing Castle of Cagliostro in 1979. Is when he first started thinking about it.
His first film.
And he was influenced by Beauty and the Beast, the classic fairy tale, but set in historical Japan, was kind of his first idea.
Mhm.
And then, of course, with Nausicaa, he's really continuing a lot of the themes that appeared in Nausicaa. So this is kind of a continuation of that with the, environmentalism, nature versus humanity and technology, and sort of how can those two things coexist and stuff.
Do you think he took his incredible artist hand, holding up his magnificent artist pencil, Jacob, and crossed out Beauty and the Beast, and then wrote, "But what if the Beast was a beauty?" Question mark.
Ah.
You should talk to Guillermo del Toro. But
About something like that.
Yeah, del Toro should make a movie where the monster is female, and then if she falls in love with like a human man. I'm gonna write.
No, that's disgusting. What you just said is disgusting.
Oh, geez.
But this movie, like I said, had the biggest budget ever for an animated film in Japan at the time. 2.35 billion yen
Wow.
was the budget, which Mike, maybe you know how much
look
that would
it up.
translate
I don't
to
know the
dollar.
direct translate. 2.5
I think that's
billion.
like
know that off the top of your head.
250 million or something like that. I saw.
Probably like divide by 10 or something like that. Or I don't
Roughly.
know if it's true, but roughly 10 yen to $1 or something.
I'm not
like that.
interested in AI mode. I'll never will be. We're doing a Miyazaki episode. How dare you? 2.5 billion? That's too much.
It's not that important, but
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. And it also had 144,000 individual cells in the animation, which was again more than any Studio Ghibli movie before that.
Wow.
So again, this is Miyazaki's most ambitious project as of yet that he's taken on. And even the runtime, I think, bears that out because it goes over the 2 hour. I think it's like 2 hours and 12 minutes or something like
Yeah.
that. So this is really his epic. I kind of thought like this is like his Lord of the Rings, It's his Lord of the Rings, it's his Avatar, it's his Fern Gully, whatever you want to say,
Reminds me a
big
lot
epics.
of Furiosa. Someone who is taken from a sort of paradise and thrust to a like cold world that they have to correct to sort of more their more naturalistic worldview, right?
Yeah, you know
Sure.
what? I was also thinking, we just talked about Predator Badlands. It was like reminding me of that, of like weird ecology that you must navigate,
Yeah.
kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And
I was
protecting
thinking it's a
things
lot
is
like
better than
Avatar.
killing things. It's like
It's
Avatar.
a lot
my
like
favorite movie.
Avatar.
Where you have, San, the princess of the forest who grew up in nature, hates humans, and then you have the industrialist humans versus nature, right? The nature gods.
And you have Jake
But yeah,
Sully.
let
It's
me-
just like,
Jake
can't we all just
Sully.
get along?
Well, and I wasn't
Exactly.
kidding about
That's
Shadow
awesome.
Colossus. There's something
Yeah.
about a protagonist that has a relationship with sort of a traveling, method thing, like their horse, their whatever, and this, of course, the elk. Jacob, you have your traveling companion next to you.
Yes, that's right. This is my forest god, Sadie.
It's one of Moro's kids. Moro's
Oh
pups.
Yeah.
no. No, she's got one of man's horrible iron balls inside her and she's turning evil. Look at her.
Oh no, you're gonna
That's
get
right.
cursed too, Naroi.
The other thing I was thinking, like,
Oh no.
when I was thinking about, like, this is like Miyazaki's Lord of the Rings, and it's like a big epic with all these different factions kind of fighting over like their place in the world and stuff. But what I find really interesting about this film is that there's no true like evil characters. Like there's no every character has either like redeeming things about them, or like you can see why they're doing what they're doing from their point of view logically. Like Lady Abosha, who's kind of the antagonist maybe, but also she has, she's taking in, she has this community of outcasts of society, lepers, and women are treated as equals within her society and stuff like that in a patriarchal Japan.
So I was thinking about this,
Yeah.
Jacob,
Yeah.
while I was watching this movie, because I absolutely agree with you. I think that's like the mega strength of this movie. It's an
Yeah.
incredible feat of storytelling. And I was thinking a lot like, why is that? Why does this happen? And specifically what you're saying about point of view. And I think there's this inherent like ability to be won over as a viewer that occurs when you see a character's home. Is this the movie where you see the more characters' homes than you typically see in other movies? You see where Lady Eboshi lives, and you sort of understand who she is because of who she surrounds herself. You see Ashitaka's community, you know who he is because he surrounds himself. San's entire dynamic is who she surrounds herself with, her home, who
Right.
she chooses
The
to make
forest.
her home versus what her home should be. People use the phrase lived in. Now, I think this is truly one of the most lived in movies I've ever seen because it's so much about how the characters live, where they choose to live, and how they choose to live, right?
Yeah.
You're
And I
right.
think meeting, Ashitaka going to the Iron Works community and meeting Lady Eboshi,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone that lives there before even meeting San and stuff, because you have this confrontation where you see San and the wolves attack the people and stuff, and you see, people using muskets and things like that, and you can kind of make your biases already of like, oh, I'm going to side with nature over these industrialist humans who are like destroying all the trees and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
then you go in, maybe that's just me, maybe other people tend to side with the humans or something. But when Ashitaka goes into this community and you learn about, oh yeah, like she takes in lepers and outcasts of society, and they have
He
this like,
buys slaves back. You're like,
yeah,
oh,
Right.
yeah,
mm.
and comfort women and stuff, and like the women in this society have an equal place where they're working alongside the men, and it's like this very progressive society. And then you start like second guessing, like, oh, maybe like the bad humans aren't just all bad after all.
Yeah. What I like about this movie that I didn't understand when I watched it as a teenager is it's very much about that, the gray zone, and it's like pretty much a movie about conflict resolution. Like Ashitaka's
Mhm.
like just trying
Yeah,
to figure out how can we
why can't
all
we all just
come
get
out
along?
okay. He's not an
Yeah,
enemy of anybody in this movie. He's just trying to
no,
figure
he
out
doesn't want
the
to kill anyone.
yeah.
He's trying to
Like
overcome the prejudice that even the beasts of nature are like, no man could ever care about nature. And he's like, I'm actually from a culture that cares about nature. They're like, that's
Right.
impossible.
yeah.
And
And
so
we
he
see
makes San kind of second guess her
mhm.
pre-established views on humans, which is like, I hate all humans, but you know what? You're actually one of the good ones. I'm learning that now. But you have Eboshi and San, these diametrically opposed
Ah,
viewpoints, and you have Ashitaka in the middle being like, hey, let's stop fighting each other and like figure this out.
Yep. And that's established really early on. If we go to like the opening where we have the boar god attacking his town, it's like this monstrosity and it comes out
yeah.
of the woods, right? And his first thing is like, "Hey man, are you all right? Do you want to like chill? We don't want to hurt you. Like, can you chill?"
Right,
Like
right.
he never
He's
uses
reluctant
violence
to even kill
first.
it.
Yeah.
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 Um,
And I think that also comes from Miyazaki's pacifism and his
Yeah.
anti-war viewpoints that are seen in a lot of his movies as well.
but people
And
do be getting killed in
certainly,
this movie, however.
Yes,
yes, they
it is a
do.
more
And this
violent
is a
movie.
very adult film, like we
Yes.
described. But I think the other big thing of the Miyazaki trope, other than I know that I joked that this is the boy one, this is surrounded by incredibly strong female
Yeah.
characters. It's very Miyazaki in that way. But the the main thing is the power of nature. And we've talked about a lot like the preservation of nature in the past, but Jacob almost saying that this is his Lord of the Rings, like making one of the factions just like kind of the earth itself. You don't really see in other blockbusters, other than like we just mentioned Guillermo del Toro. Pacific Rim kind of uses sort of like the earth fighting back as a metaphor, right? In a way that I'm really kind of blown away by, and I really love, and I guess I just wish all movies were about, since the earth so desperately needs defense, right?
Yeah.
It really
Again, I think
does.
it's a very Japanese view of nature and stuff too, where in America and in the West, like you don't have this kind of idea of nature being sort of like an entity in itself.
Yeah.
And
Alive,
like,
like in more ways than
yeah,
one. Metaphorically
right.
alive,
It
spiritually
is
alive.
God. The
It is
earth is
Yes.
God.
God. And you're
Yeah,
like,
the earth
oh,
is
of course
God.
it is.
So you
And
Yeah.
have these
it's
forest spirits and forest gods and stuff.
like Totoro's based on that. We've kind of covered this topic here and there. Kind of the forest has spirits that rule over, and you want to make offerings. But Lady Eboshi is like it's not Isengard. It's not. She's not destroying the forest for power or for
Right.
profit. She just wants to maintain her community and protect her people. So it's like that gray zone
Exactly.
is great. Um,
So yeah, like Lord of the Rings, very black and white, good versus evil conflict. There's no evil in this movie. There's just different forces who are trying to sort of make their place in
survive.
the world. And Abosh is sort of put into this antagonist role when really she's just doing what she thinks is needed for the survival of her community.
There
Exactly.
is one evil that manifests, and it can manifest in any of us, and it comes out of nowhere, and there's no explanation in this movie as far as like, well, because this horrible thing happened, because this. There is hatred, literal
Yes.
hatred, that just the idea of hatred can consume you and turn you into a demon, a
Yeah.
festering monster in this is really the only thing, right?
Yeah, and I
Right.
think that's that line to see with eyes unclouded by hate. Like that's his prime directive, and he spends the whole movie doing that. Like when he's encounters something where he's like, "Hey, I don't think what you're doing is right," and they're like, "Well, actually, here's my justification for it." He's like, "You know what? I'm not going to judge you." Okay, and then he moves on and like brings that internalizes some of that information while he makes his furthering decisions, but maintains his moral compass. That's the
Yeah.
heartbeat of the movie. Don't be hating things. Um,
Absolutely. And again, I think it's also a continuation of themes that he first established in Nausicaa and maybe an evolution of those themes. I was reading about how he was a little disappointed with how that film ends because that was obviously based on an ongoing manga that he was writing,
mhm.
and the manga continued for years after that movie. So it has a more abrupt ending, and it ends with sort of a deus ex machina kind of solving the environmentalist problem. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so this is kind of more a nuanced look at like, oh, we can't just solve everything in the end and
It's
everything's all
literally
right.
when it says in Japanese at the end, the forest god's dead. This isn't his forest anymore, even if it is just a forest. Still, you're just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like the when you talk about that bleakness, Jacob, or like there is no happy ending. It's like this film sort of even says at the end, like even if you come up with a solution, like good luck. It's like, oh,
Yeah. And then you still have
Yeah,
to find out a way to live
oh
together. Like
no, yeah,
everyone kind of
you still
learns in
have
the
to
end, but
carry this burden in your heart.
it's
yeah,
Oh,
still
like it
gonna
ends
be
on
the
on a
effort.
happy
Yeah,
note. But like San still is like, I still hate humans except for you, Ashitaka, but
yeah,
I'm gonna go live in the
it's
woods
like
and like
that's
we can,
fair.
yeah. And then Aboshi's like, yeah, I or kind of realizes her mistakes and is like willing to like rebuild the society in a way that like maybe is not coming into conflict with nature as much. So maybe they learned
Oh
a little
god.
something, but they still have to learn to live together.
they learn about each other's perspectives and pain points, and say, you know what? I'll try to do that less to you going forward. Let's
Yes.
work together.
It's all
Um,
because of therapist Ashitaka trying to solve everyone's problems.
that's right.
And
That's right.
what a great character, Ashitaka. Again, Colin, you said this is the boy one because this has a male point of view character as our sort of our audience character, whereas most Miyazaki films in the past have usually been a young girl or
Hmm.
woman who is kind of the Kiki, Nausicaa, et cetera, et cetera.
When do we get it
Um,
And
again? Just The Wind Rises, I guess.
Wind Rises. Yeah. Boy and the Heron.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple more
Ponyo is
boy
like,
ones.
yeah, I guess Ponyo, because Ponyo is kind of like a boy and a girl that like comes from the sea or whatever.
Ponyo is
Um,
all things. I
yeah,
can't wait for us to just avoid talking about Ponyo on our Ponyo episode.
yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, save your Ponyo spoilers for now.
Yeah, yes.
I've
We'll
yet to
talk Ponyo.
experience it.
What if Mike loves Ponyo? That'll be really
That'll be my
cool.
highest ranked one. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
That would be interesting.
But yeah, this movie fucking
And then we have,
rules. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the way it opens, you have, you're introduced to Ashitaka. Again, he's a great character because he wants everyone to get along. He's got his little elk buddy
His red
Yakul,
elk.
red elk. I love Yakul. And of course, he's a bow guy, and you know how I feel about bow guys.
You do love bow guys.
He is
He's
a bow guy.
prime bow guy.
He's
one
a
of
real
the
good
best bow
fighter, even though he
guys.
doesn't want to kill anyone when he needs to. He's a pretty good fighter.
This is the Legend of Zelda movie we'll never get, right?
Mm.
This is Breath of the Wild. Like that
They're
is
making one
what
right
is
now.
happening here. Well, are they
Not as
though?
good as this one.
We'll see. We'll
Supposedly.
see. We've seen some stuff. We'll see. But Ashitaka is this quiet, stern force. He's very different, as we've said. Miyazaki characters are young ladies who are headstrong, who know better, wink, wink, except the world is about to teach them. Ashitaka needs to experience the world because he is sheltered and held away, but he needs to experience it in that he truly needs to go out and cleanse it. He is a good young man who is revealed to be the prince of this small village. This monster attacks, destroys, destruction in its way, knocks over a tower. Jacob's right. He's doing some awesome bow work, gets on his elk Yakult, saves some young girls. I believe it's either a fiance or a sister, depending on the translation.
The English one, it's his sister. The other one, it's Japanese, it's his betrothed, which,
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Fascinating. And then, of course, he does end up getting cursed, and he is put through the ringer of the holy medicine woman of their village, does experimentations on the sort of curse, this ritual, what needs to be done, and it essentially comes to that he needs to leave their village. And she asks him, "Are you ready to accept your fate head on?" And he says, I was ready the moment I pulled that bowstring back. I would do it 1,000 times over," or whatever he says. And again,
Yeah.
like Ashitaka as a character, you're like, oh shit, this guy is great.
He's
Yeah,
so
he's kinda
centered.
already-
Yeah.
Yeah. He's already a strong character, and the inciting incident of his whole quest is that yes, he kills the demon, gets cursed, and it afflicts his arm, which gets this curse on it that like makes it do weird stuff.
Yeah.
And then like you said, the elder lady is like, basically, this curse is gonna kill you eventually. Like you're gonna die, so you have to leave the village forever, and like maybe you can go west and like try to get it absolved if you go like figure out what's causing the curse or whatever.
Yeah.
But pretty
They
much
find the iron
you're pretty much
ball.
going to die.
So
Yeah,
it's
the
like,
iron
you could go
ball, which is
find
the
where this
musket
came
ball.
from. I don't know. That's all we
Yeah.
got.
There's an iron ball within the pig that turned it into a demon. Go west, figure out what's going on over there.
And
Maybe
hey,
you
do me a
can.
favor. When you get
Yeah.
over there, see with eyes unclouded and decide. And he says,
Yes.
I will.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, you're gonna die, and so he has to kind of accept that, like, this curse is going to kill you. And so he goes off on his quest, and
Well, his
this is
fiance
the
comes out
crossing
and
the
gives him a
threshold.
knife, which is against the rules. They're not.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody can watch you
Oh yeah,
leave
we
the village.
can't look at you. Yes, please
That's-
leave while
and
we turn away.
And if
Yeah.
you remember, we're not allowed to look at you. There's the door.
And so-
and he
yeah.
like nods and
And he's
cuts
like,
his
"Yep."
ponytail off, which is
Yeah.
great.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, gets his Yakult. He gets that little dagger. I just wanted to mention that because it's like, and then he gives it away later, and it's like, but wait,
Yeah.
wasn't that from your fiance?
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess he kind of forgets about it. I didn't even realize he had
Well,
a fiance. I missed
He
that
makes some
part.
choices. Now, here's what I want to say. I know
Yeah.
nothing about this, but the Wikipedia said that this movie is set in the Muromachi period of Japanese history, and it follows Ashitaka, a young Amishi prince. So it does have a name. And they do have discussions in this earlier part with this council of men as they're listening about the madness of the emperor in the west of Japan, who is losing his power to local shoguns, right? Like other lords seem to be usurping him. And this sets up this background story of him sort of on this quest to find an ultimate power to retain his status, right?
Yeah. And we see
Yeah.
samurai in this movie, which are sort of like the soldiers for these different shoguns and stuff. And what's interesting is that Miyazaki doesn't depict the samurai as being particularly noble.
No, they're evil, in fact. Yeah.
Yeah, like they are probably like the worst people in the movie because they're just like attacking innocent people a lot. And this is, Princess Mononoke, it's I guess what's called Jidaigeki or Jidaigeki
Jidaigeki.
style.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Which is like a period drama about historic Japanese era. Um,
Goes
Yeah,
so
but again,
fucking
like
hard, guys.
this
Goes
time
Yeah.
so
period
hard.
is like when all the shoguns are fighting with each other to try to see who can unite
right,
Japan. This is before.
it's like Shogun or
It's like it's
Shogun.
literally like the 200 years before leading up to Shogun is that period.
Yeah.
So it's a big power
And yeah, there's like
vacuum
hundreds and hundreds of years where like different shoguns and stuff were fighting over Japan, and there's like
So
just
desperately trying to pull the name. What is it?
for in
which
Shogun or real life.
For what do they call him as a Portuguese sort of traveler?
what did I forget?
Oh
What's the
no,
word they use for him? Oh,
Anjin
god damn.
Sama. Anjin
Yeah.
Sama.
Oh,
Anjin Sama,
Ojin
yes.
Sama. Ojin
Anjin.
Sama.
Anjin Sama.
Anjin Sama. Thank you, Mike. Anjin Sama.
Yes. But they do mention they name drop Asano in this movie, which is sort of like a historical Japanese shogun, right?
Mm.
Who's
Sure.
trying to again, unite Japan. But yeah, it subverts many of the traditional elements of Jidaigeki, such as portrayals of the emperor and the samurai as sacred and noble.
Right.
And Miyazaki's like, not so much. And then also just the idea of, the forest, traditional like Zen aesthetics of like Zen gardens are very carefully tended and organized and stuff, whereas Miyazaki depicts nature as just like wild and crazy and like growing everywhere, and humans avoid it a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
No,
I love
you're
it.
right about the subverting. Like, it's not glamorizing the samurai at all or the emperor. He like it's hired Jigo to go find someone to kill the forest spirit for
Yes.
immortality. Like,
And Jigo, I would
that's
say
the
again,
one
is another
villain.
one of the more antagonistic characters where he's
He
kind of
doesn't have
causes
a
a lot of
noble
problems.
means. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's strictly
And he's a
for
little bit of a
power.
trickster. And then
Yeah.
you have the samurai. Basically, the ironworks community is fighting on two fronts because they're fighting against the forest and the animals, and they're also fighting the samurai who want their, basically, as we learn, they set up this settlement here. They're getting all the iron out of the ground and stuff. So the nature people don't like them because they're destroying the forest and stuff. And also the samurai want to come and take what they have now because they've established this ironworks there.
And
Yeah.
what is Lady Eboshi's backstory? Because it's not really made super clear or dwelled on, right? How does she have the
No.
means to start this iron reserve, to start a smelting factory? How does she have the contacts to export what seems like half of her marketed materials, right, to make a profit, and then the
Mhm.
rest she arms her staff, civilians, every human being she can find into this sort of
Right.
like super society she's forming. To what end? To expand, to sort of make herself a daimyo in some sort of way almost?
She
Well, I
jokes
think
about taking over the country. I don't know how serious that ambition is.
Other people
Yeah.
joke for her, Mike,
Yeah.
about what her means are to an end, and she just sort of is like a cool cucumber the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much is directly stated in the film, but my understanding is that she's probably like a rich noble lady from the city or whatever who decided to like break off and form this community.
I
Yeah.
I ascribe so much backstory to her. I see
Yeah.
her as like a courtesan to like a lord who like had an affair with her actual beloved, which was a samurai. Because why can she go toe to toe fighting with San and Ashitaka? She's
Right.
incredible with the blade, the katana. She can dual wield. She uses like the, sort of like
Hairpin.
lady spiked, hairpin as
Yes.
well. She's almost like a fucking kunoichi, a female samurai or a female ninja. Like
Yeah.
she's so she almost seems like an assassin.
You
And she's
know,
very capable.
Is she
And also,
anachronistic, owning this much, doing this much as a woman in this
probably,
feudal era?
what I'm trying to
um,
think is, you ever hear that? I can't remember her name, but there was this lady who became king of the pirates in China. Like it's
oh,
like
sure,
so
yeah.
I like to think of
Yeah.
Boshi was maybe
Like
a
she was in Pirates of
marauder's
the
kind of
Caribbean.
wife. Like so she came up in that kind
Yeah.
of rough environment.
Yeah.
Her husband died, and she just kind of took over the operation. And then
Maybe.
she's
That's
like,
what I think. Yeah,
we're getting
probably
the
Queen of the
courtesans
mob.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a
Yeah.
mob wife. Yeah, and then took
But
over.
obviously very smart and capable. And also I like that she's always on the cutting edge of technology where she's like, they're making new kinds of muskets because they're like these Chinese muskets, like they're not, which is the like the long ones on the poles that they
Gun
have.
should
And
be a thing you carry in your hand and you use
That's
to
right.
rob a liquor store. Like, all
Yeah.
right, Lady
and
Emotion,
so like the lepers are
relax.
designing these new muskets, like these are going to be easier for people to shoot and stuff. So she's coming
If
up
I
with
was in
the
ancient
newest
times,
weapons.
I would
Yeah.
be a leper whose penis had fallen off, and I would not be
Oh
good at
no.
making guns or anything. I would just be like very sick.
I'd
They'd
be
be all
trying to.
wrapped in
I'd be
bandages.
like,
Yeah,
ooh.
that was a little bit
Um,
lost on me too. Is like that how complex her character is on the second viewing. That it's not. She doesn't just fuck with nature. She's taking care of the lepers, like Jacob said. She's rescuing people from
yeah.
women out of life in the brothels and giving them jobs and meaningful work. And they're like, hey, it's life's
Right.
hard here. Yeah, it's hard, but it's awesome.
Like when Ashitaka goes into that community and everyone's just like, look, you don't understand. Like Lady Eboshi is like the best. Like she set up this whole community. Like we're lepers. Like no one else wanted to like really fuck with us. Like we had to like leave society because basically people had like a superstition about leprosy, of course, because it was, you didn't want to be near people in case it spread to you and you
Mhm.
got it yourself, right? But
Almost
she
like
How
treats
a
us
is
curse.
like
it
human beings.
transmitted?
I don't know.
I think it's like contagious. I don't know.
Okay.
I would assume by
Leprosy. You don't
touch.
hear a lot about leprosy anymore.
No, but we had that
Yeah.
Shogun guy in the show where they had the leprosy Shogun. Remember that dude? He had to
Oh,
be in his
yeah.
little veil.
Isn't
Did we
that
cure
like
leprosy? Is that why people don't
I
get it anymore?
I think that's right. And
Maybe people do get it. I don't know.
It's pretty much why we went to Hawaii, right? That's like where we sent people, right? Was like, well,
Really?
When?
I had no idea.
I think so, right?
That I
Like-
don't know.
Like when America originally went to Hawaii?
Yeah, I think they were like, we just gotta get rid of you. Oh, look what we found. Uh-oh.
An island? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But
There's people already there. They probably weren't too happy about it.
No,
No.
we sent y'all our CDs.
then Ashitaka has to show up and say, "Hey, get along, everybody."
And of course,
Right.
Jacob, you remember when that horrible, horrible accident happened with all those lepers with all those gold coins they had in that town with that lighthouse?
Yeah.
That one is lost on me.
The fog reference. for all
fog.
you
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's a leper.
October fans. Jacob and I
Like, what is-
admitted that we both watched The Fog this year. A film
yeah, but
oddly about leprosy.
The
Right.
ghost ship was originally they put a bunch of lepers on a ship because like you got to go find a new place to live.
You have
Like
to go to find a leper colony. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
what those are called. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
so basically, yeah, I think I don't know if I think it still might exist in like more like third world countries and stuff where it's maybe they don't have the medical technologies and stuff to treat it. But it's definitely not as widespread as it used to be, from my understanding.
Yeah, I don't know.
leprosy.
I'm not an expert on leprosy, but I am an
No,
expert on
I
talking
am.
about Hayao Miyazaki movies.
Yeah, but it used to be a big problem, as you can see.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
But also just having this more egalitarian society where like you see the women working the mill and or the forge, right, keeping the forge going and stuff, and they're like, look, we work even more than the men, really, and we're treated as equals here. And Lady Boshi, obviously our leader, is a woman and very strong and capable leader. So we all love her so much, and so then you're like, oh well, maybe she isn't so bad, but she's also trying to like destroy nature and stuff. So it is complicated.
No, and I like when he meets her and he says, "Hey, I found this iron ball in a boar demon. It cursed me, and it kind of sucks. And like, so
She's
he's
like,
like,
yeah, that was me. Sorry
that
about
Yeah, I
was
that.
guess it
me.
probably should have cursed me, huh? Is that what you're mad about? Is that what
Yeah.
this is? And he's kind of like, yeah, kind of.
Well, this is what's so great about that scene, though, is when she's like, "So why are you here?" After he pretty much knows, like, yeah, it's her fault that he's cursed, and he's like, "Just to see with eyes unclouded by hate. Like, I want to
Ooh,
know what your deal is before I judge you, even though
Right.
I know
and
it's your
Mike,
fault."
he does not like that answer.
No. Well, she eventually says, "Hey, I'll show you. I'll show you the works. You want to see unclouded? I'll show you everything. I'll tell you everything I do."
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a nice tour. But
His arm
also
gets
his
ready to kill
first
her, but yeah.
well, let's jump back a little bit because first I
Yeah.
want to talk about so when he's traveling, when he's going on his journey with Yakul, he first runs into some samurai that are attacking like local villagers.
Mm,
Um, and this is kind of when you know that, like, oh, this is a more adult Miyazaki film because he fights back, and the first thing he does is he shoots an arrow that hits a samurai like in the arms and like chops both of its arms off with one
he's doing a
arrow.
downswing, and
Yeah.
the arrow is so strong it just
Takes off both of his
Superman's him.
arms,
Yeah.
Sticks him
pins
to
it
a
to a
tree.
tree
Yeah.
with the sword. Next shot, he beheads someone with an arrow. It just chops its whole head
Here,
off.
so Ashitaka
Yeah.
is his village's greatest warrior. He's talked about when the men are like, unfortunately banishing him, they're like, but it's happening to our like youngest, most vital, like most like, like
Yeah.
incredible guy.
They're
And
aging.
the curse somehow also acts like the super soldier serum. So not only is he
Mm.
incredibly capable, he is getting stronger and stronger.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And his right
also,
arm has the hate that sometimes is just like, oh, I want
Yeah.
to
it
attack
tries to
you.
act on its own. Yeah. Because initially
Yeah.
he's just trying to ride past the samurai. He's probably pissed off that they're killing villagers, but he's like, please don't shoot at me. Please don't shoot at me.
Yeah.
And
He
then the arm
warns
kind of
them.
takes over and kills two of
Yeah.
them. And
He's like,
that's
I don't
pretty
want to fight you,
crazy.
but if I do, like, I'm going to win because
You
I'm a
will
better fighter.
die.
It's going to end up pretty bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice because then later, after the wolves attack Eboshi's people and some of them fall in the river, Ashitaka comes across them and he ends up saving two people as it's
Right.
like to make up for the two lives he took earlier in the film.
He saves a
And
freaky
that's
little monk with long shoes.
Oh yeah, well
Oh, that's
that
right. So
guy,
first we meet
we
Jigo.
meet
He goes to
Jigo
buy some
first.
rice, and yeah, Jigo kind of
He doesn't have any
helps
money.
him
He has
buy
a
this
little piece
rice.
of gold. And then
Yeah,
the lady's like, "What is this? I
a
want
little
money."
trickster
Jigo
comes.
says, "This is worth so much money. Holy crap. I'll give you gold and keep this. Or coins and keep
Yeah,
this and whatever."
and then they kind of camp together, eat some rice, and then Jigo's like, "Yeah, you should probably go like figure out what's going on over there, like with the forest gods and whatnot."
And he shows them the
And we don't
iron
really know
ball.
his.
Jigo says, "I think
Yeah,
I might know where you want to investigate."
right.
That's
But
the
we
way
don't
he
really
looks
know
at
what
it.
his whole deal is yet. He's being a little
No.
trickster.
No, he seems like just this kind of impish, like weird little
Yeah.
guy. We don't know his ulterior
Super
motive yet.
handsome.
Super handsome.
Super
Lo-
handsome.
Love his shoes. He really likes Ashitaka's
Yeah,
bowl. This is a fancy bowl.
yeah.
In this era, do you
And
just
then
carry your bowl with you at all times? Sorry, I wanted to know.
do I?
Probably.
Do you
If
just
I
have a
had just
traveling
like
bowl? Yeah,
one thing in the world, I'd be like, this is my bowl.
I'll
Need
need
something
this to
to
eat.
eat your rice out of,
I
yeah.
guess so. Yeah. Anyway, um,
But when he first shows up to the iron works, that's when he sees the whole wolf attack. So they're carrying supplies up the mountain or whatever. They get the wolves attack. Some people fall off the cliff into the water and stuff, and that's when he goes to save two guys that like fell in the water, didn't die.
Moro gets
Um,
shot by Iboshi.
yeah,
Yeah,
Moro is the mother of the wolves. She's the wolf
God.
god, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
So while he's pulling these guys out of the river, he sees Moro, and then San is like
Yes.
pulling the blood, sucking the blood of the poison
This
out
is
of
sucking the blood
Moro.
out. Yeah.
She's
This is
the
like
This
the
is his
iconic
feral
never
girl. This is
shot.
their meet
Yeah,
cute.
he's kind of like spying on them. She stands up, like spits the blood out, and he's like, pretty much, I feel like immediately falls in love with her. She's like, "Oh, who's this? Who's this?" And she's like, "Go away! Like we don't like you," basically.
Now,
Um,
again, I watched this in Japanese this time,
Mhm.
but
yeah,
I will say we've got Billy Crudup, Ashitaka. We've got Claire Danes here now as
Right.
San, our Princess Mononoke. We talked about Lady Eboshi, that's Minnie Driver. And of course, Jacob shouted
Yes.
out good
Billy
old
Bob.
Billy Bob himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the strengths of this film is none of those people are any of my guys. I do not go to bat for
Billy
any
Crudup,
of those
not your guy.
actors. I do not like those actors. I do
Mm-mm.
not like Billy
Mm.
Crudup. I do not watch Claire Danes projects. I do not seek out Minnie Driver movies, television
Minnie
shows, any of
Driver,
those things.
I mainly know
Nope.
from Good Will Hunting. She's in
But
Good Will
but
Hunting.
are any of those people anyone that you put your goodwill into that you literally go like, oh, a Minnie Driver project. This is
No, I don't really
great
have
news. Billy
positive
Bob,
or
Mike.
negative thoughts about
Nope.
any of
No
Mike,
these.
you're a
Sling Blade.
Landman fan, am I right, my boy?
I was looking for
Landman.
Sling Blade, but that works too.
Yeah, you love
Sling
them
Blade.
French fried potatoes, right,
Uh-huh.
Mike?
That's right.
I like Billy Crudup. I mean, what's
What
he
in
mainly
what
known for?
way? Describe it.
I can't name one movie that he's done. No
He
offense.
was
Besides this
Alien Covenant. Alien
Of course,
Covenant, of
Oh.
he
course.
is, Mike. He's the asshole in Alien Covenant.
one. Oh, okay.
Mission
Well,
Impossible
God
3.
sent us here. Don't you know that?
that guy. Okay.
I will say,
The Dr. Manhattan, ever heard of him?
that's right, Watchmen. Love Watchmen.
Huh.
Moro in the English version, I always remember this, is Gillian Anderson,
Nice.
X-Files, who I do like a lot. So I will say, I mean, not a big part, but I do love Gillian Anderson.
You are stretching,
Come on,
Mr. Armstrong.
Scully, Mulder and Scully.
You are
love 'em.
desperate over there. My point being, I think these are some of the performances of these people's career. I think Claire Danes does an amazing job in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Claire Danes, like what she's known for. Oh, my So-Called Life, of course, but also like she was in that like terrorism show or whatever.
Homeland. She's got a new
Homeland.
show right now called The Beast in Me, which my mom watched, I believe, in 6 hours of its release, every episode on Netflix, and then said, "Oh, Colin, you just don't get it. It's incredible." What's it about? I don't remember.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, like you said, like not huge actors. Maybe there's some other Miyazaki dubs that are have better stars, but
It's the start. No, this is the trend. Kiki did so good as herself, Kiki in her own little delivery service, and now
Ditch and dunce.
you get these incredible actors.
Yeah, Michael Keaton, Porco Rosso.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, and of course you had the Fanning sisters in My Neighbor Totoro. We were just talking about Elle Fanning last week,
Yeah,
of course.
true.
Predator Badlands. But yeah, they do a good job with those dubs. But I thought the Japanese language version was really good. So
It's
appreciate
crazy. It's crazy in My Neighbor Totoro when the one little sister says, "Isn't it weird that we've been programmed to have feelings, sister?" And then he says, "I'm not your sister. You're broken."
We're here to capture the Totoro.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Totoro's
That's
technology.
right. What is the status of the
is
Totoro?
freaky umbrella. Very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the status of the Totoro?
Mm-hmm.
We will take the
man.
Totoro for the company.
Mm-hmm.
Mother says we must take the Totoro.
That's right.
Yeah, so Ashitaka saves two guys. He's kind of taking them back to this community. That's when he runs into the wolves and San, and basically falls in love with San. She stands up, spits the blood out that she's been sucking out of the wound, and you're like, oh, this is the wild girl from the woods.
Yeah.
And
She tells him
San
to kick
is a
rocks.
badass.
She's a badass. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, get the fuck out of here. Leave us alone. We're kind of doing our own thing. We hate humans, so please go away.
And he's like, sure. But he ends up taking
Yeah.
the two guys back to the village, and Eboshi's like, yo, thank you. That's two more of my people who didn't die. Like, she really cares about her community, and that's kind of what ingratiates him to her.
Yeah, and all the women are like, oh, we love you, Ashitaka. Thank you so much for bringing our like piece of shit husband back who's like super lazy or whatever.
Yeah, she's like, I wish he would have died so I could have found a new husband. She says to him. But in a joke.
And then he gets a tour of the community. He sees what's going on. They're making iron there.
The ladies
They
are
have the
like,
forge
stop hanging
running
out with the
24 hours a
boys
day.
in here. Come see our
Yeah.
In
workplace.
this fucking sweat house. He
Come
comes,
hang out
he
with
gets the
us. Oh,
tour.
let me try to do the
Takes his shirt
forge. Like
off.
they're like, oh, you're such a handsome young man.
Oh, I did want to
Mhm.
make this point. You know how people have that meme that girls have where like, look at him over there wearing his slutty little glasses that they'll talk
Uh-huh.
about like the
Yeah.
sluttiest thing a man can do is wear his like little glasses or whatever, right? And that's
Right,
kind of
right.
like a
Right.
recurring joke. I think the sluttiest little thing that a guy can wear
Mm-hmm.
is whatever this thing Ashitaka is wearing.
Where it's just
That
like the
is
arm
just
It's
sleeves.
just sleeves. Yeah.
fingertips out, sleeve. It's like singlet webbed gloves, right? That goes up just the sleeves, undoes over the pecs, the whole body. If men's
Yeah.
lingerie existed, hey, guys who are married, do your wife a favor. Go find
Get you some
something like
sleeves.
this. I
Yeah.
promise. Put this on. She will be entertained.
I feel like you
Yeah.
got to be in good shape to rock this. So like you got to have like
Oh
a
yeah.
six pack and stuff. You
Work
can't
towards
be.
it. You got to
Yeah.
work towards wearing the slutty little sleeve thing.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, yeah, you have your midriff exposed, and
Oh
then you
yeah.
have this shoulders and sleeves thing.
Yeah. And you know who
Um,
wears this? Link in Breath of the Wild, of course. Again,
mm,
just so heavily inspired by this movie.
yes, very much so. But yeah, he disrobes and he's like, "Okay, let me work the forge with you, ladies." And then they're all like, "Ooh, he is handsome. He's so
We're gonna have to
handsome
wear
and
makeup
strong."
when we work.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then sort of while he's hanging out in the community, that's when Stan attacks again, and it's kind of like
He
this
has
sneak attack, right?
so so he has had the fight with Lady Abosha by this point,
Yeah.
and she has directly said, "I want you to work with me." And she calls him samurai, like powerful samurai. She believes that he is some sort of outside force. She does not really sort of understand him. She directly asks where his village is, and he's sort of like, north and east. That's all I'm gonna say.
I can't
And she's
say,
like,
yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
okay."
I can't dox my
Yes.
village.
He's being very suspicious. She wants to align with him, and he says to destroy more of the forest and to curse more of the gods. What do you think that will bring? Nothing but ruin, right? And she
Mm-hmm.
absolutely refuses to see this. This is when he starts doing the work. And yes, Jacob, you're right. This is when San now starts her actual attack of the village. And again, we are seeing something here that I think is some of the most impressive writing ever. And when I'm going back to what I call the lived in quality, the moral grayness, all this stuff, how it is so tied together into the self identity of how defined these fucking characters are. San and her brothers are attacking this village that she wants to wipe out because they are encroaching on her homeland.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Abosha's defense of this is to say, what I have employed is two women whose husbands you have killed. This is a revenge story for background characters all of a sudden.
Right.
And you're
Mm-hmm.
just like, Jesus, you're adding so much fucking weight and heft to every single character and playing such an interesting tactic and card for Lady Abosha. She's coming off like a goddamn mastermind, which again makes me go, what is her fucking backstory that she is so smart to pull these tactics?
She's got to be
Yeah.
a mob wife.
And
But yeah, you want revenge
but
for your
San, I
animals. They
mean,
want revenge for their husbands. Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant writing.
right. And the wolves and San have killed people, but only in defense of the forest. And so they would say, well, we're defending our land
It's
and stuff.
all
Like you're
point of
you're
views. It's all
yeah,
point of view. It's clashing
Mm-hmm.
point of views, Jacob. Again, it's what it all comes down to. You're so right.
right.
It's so
You're
crazy.
chopping down the trees, you're pulling the iron out of the ground to, make into iron. You're destroying nature, and
Here's
we're not happy about that.
Here's what it ultimately is. In fiction, when you write fiction and people say define your story, and they have these, the oldest archetypes of mankind are man versus man versus self, man versus nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
The three subsets of like what
Conflict.
set up all genre, right? All conflict, right?
Yeah.
What's fascinating about this movie is Miyazaki's like, what if every character thinks it's a different version of those things? What if for
Mm.
some of them it's man versus nature? And what if for some of them it's man versus man? And what if for some of them it's man versus self? And you're like, oh my God, how are you writing this? This is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is largely the conflict is predicated on a generally misunderstanding because it's like, we're attacking you guys because you attack us. We don't want to kill all the animals. We just want to get the ore. Could you leave us alone to do that? And they're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
we're attacking you because you're killing us. Like, it's kind of
Right.
nobody has all the information. They all have a bias against each other without having the dialogue. And that's where
Yeah.
Ashitaka comes
Because
in.
oftentimes in real life, like conflicts and stuff, there's not one side that's like purely good and one side that's purely evil. And again, thinking about Lord of the Rings, it's like as much as I like Lord of the Rings, it is a more simplistic tale of good and evil. And it's like obviously one side cannot be more unambiguously evil. Sauron being like literally the manifestation of evil. And so
Yes.
you have that same environment, nature versus industrialism of like the Ents versus like the when the orcs are like chopping all the
Isengard,
trees
yeah.
down and stuff. Isengard. And it's like, well, yeah, obviously they're the bad guys. They're a bunch of orcs and Uruk-hai and stuff.
And
Um,
yet, like when they're all drunk around the table and all the men are explaining to Ashitaka about like how happy they are Lady Boshi brought guns because that means they can go into the mountain because the mountain used to just be territory for boars and apes. It's
yeah,
like humans would have never left the caves if we can't conquer other animals. Like we would never thrive. We'd never be in charge, quote unquote, like
Right.
if we didn't fight nature. Isn't it what we have to do?
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And again, to defend themselves also from the samurai who want to come and now take what they've established there that they've worked so hard for. So like we need more guns, we need more stuff to
Trees,
defend
more
what's ours.
lumber. Yeah, more,
Yeah.
yeah.
And now that we've been so successful here, other people want to come and take it. And so we can't let that happen. And they don't even think of nature and they don't think of the animals as being like equal to humans in terms of like, well, obviously we're humans. We, that's what we do. We kind of take over the land, take all whatever minerals we can use out of the ground. And all of human progress is built on exploiting nature in a lot of ways. So
There's
there's that balance.
there's that line that one of the lepers has where they just kind of offhandedly say, "Well, Lady Eboshi, she doesn't care about the old ways or the old gods." They're kind of implying the laws that like men should be in charge versus like you have to respect, the hierarchy of nature, blah 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 blah.
Right.
And I also just wanted to point out that speech that the full leper guy gives, where he's like, you need to listen to Ashitaka. He is not like just saying this because like if he's saying these words so powerfully, that scene is so good where he's just
Mm-hmm.
like, that poor young man, like listen to his words and look at
Oh
me.
yeah.
I'm cursed too. Leprosy is kind of a curse if you think about it, where you're like, yeah, that's what this whole fucking movie is. And again, it's setting up this dichotomy where he's talking about, I mean, literally that we have the god of life is also the god of death. That like
Mm-hmm.
he says in his speech, this dichotomy of the curse of life is that we're all going to die. We're all cursed. He says this thing. It's like it's the beauty of like what you're choosing to do with it. And again, if you respect nature, all this stuff, like there's just so many conflicts and
Yeah.
conversations happening in this movie that Miyazaki's like, I'm being torn up inside. Don't you realize that like as a human being, I struggle with the
Right. He's
idea that
conflicted
we
as
have to
well.
succeed and others must die. You're like, oh
Right.
And
my
the hubris
god.
of man, the hubris of humanity is like what
Yeah.
Jigo kind of represents too, where it's like we need to, because ultimately his plan is we
Literally
need to
kill the
take the
old
head of
gods.
the
Yeah.
yeah,
We should kill
the
God.
head
We
of the
should kill
deer
the god
god
of
will
death.
make
You're
us
like, what?
immortal. And if we get that, it'll make us immortal, then we'll conquer life and death itself. Is
Mm-hmm.
that not humanity's role to like, kill our gods and overcome them and become more powerful, I guess.
Yeah, because I look at him as the most morally corrupt character in this movie. Because, again, to frame Eboshi's situation, if you look at it at a micro scale of like one family, like one group of three people, let's say, wanting to live in nature back in the day. I got to cut down a couple trees to build a house. Like, I don't want to cut
Right.
down the whole forest, but I need a couple of them to live,
Yeah.
and it can't be helped. That kind of it can't be helped attitude is, I think, what Colin is Miyazaki furiously writing. Like, we need to progress, but nature should exist too. It's untenable.
Well, even
Yeah,
yeah, the most rugged survivalist, like you still need to use some resources from nature.
it
And
can't
you
be
can
helped.
replant, if you cut down trees, you can replant trees to kind of keep the cycle going. Um, and that's a big thing with like camping and stuff. Like there's people that are like leave no trace campers who like try to just basically live off the land, but like not, upset the balance of nature.
Hmm.
So that's how we should be. But then, if all humanity lived like that, we wouldn't have cities and all the technological advances that we've had over the years.
Yeah, and I think the war on two fronts for her, it's like maybe if the Shogun weren't constantly fucking attacking me, I could like scale back my deforestation and we could just chill. But I
Right.
need, as Colin said,
Yeah.
more. I need
I
more,
could
more, more.
Yeah.
spare to have a conversation about this if the world wasn't breathing down my neck is an excuse I think a lot of us live in. And I
Hmm.
I mean, I think it's so obvious that literally when Ashitaka is asking the girls like, and this is good, this is better, they're basically like, yeah, living under ethical capitalism is totally better. We have this job where we have to do this backbreaking labor to keep a kiln burning 24/7. We work the night shift. Like, it is horrible in so many different ways.
Right.
But we're safe is
It's
such a
better than
thing
it
that
was
like we
before.
all struggle with still. Like, it's so horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
And
we
now
got
it's like,
data
yeah, like,
centers. They are, the data
right. I was
centers
going
are
to say, like,
Judo.
Pollute the
look,
water
global
for
warming
the
is
dear
bad, but we
God.
need AI. Okay. You understand?
Yes.
We need
AI is our
Chat
God.
GPT.
No, yeah.
So we will
That's
burn down all the
Jugo.
forests.
Yes,
Yeah,
we will
Yep.
we
kill the
can.
gods for AI. There
AI
is
will become our
something.
new god.
No, this movie is so relevant because again, it's about hate and hating people who you don't fully understand or things you don't fully understand for no reason without having a conversation. I think that's obviously rampant in society. It's like people just hating people for one reason or another without having conversation of how can we find middle ground, areas of common interest or whatever Mom Donnie says, you know? Um,
Yes.
That's right.
that's what
Yes.
we need to be looking for, and that's what this speech by Ashitaka when he gets in between Eboshi and San when they're fighting.
What a scene.
She'll make a great
Yes.
wife for you, and then
So
yeah, this is the best scene in the movie.
right. So San attacks with her wolf brothers. She's on the roof and stuff, doing some cool like ninja type stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
basically her whole mission is to try to assassinate Lady Eboshi, because if you take out Lady Eboshi, like this community will basically crumble because she's such a strong leader, is kind
They
of
won't
I
know
think
what to
the
do.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets her hands
Um
dirty, so yeah, she's very on the ground
Yeah.
leadership style.
So she's going after Eboshi, but Eboshi's prepared. She has muskets all around her. She has like you said, Colin, the wives of men that San has killed who want revenge, kind of standing there like ready to shoot. And then you have Ashitaka who's like, how can I like get in between without like either side causing harm? Like I'm just gonna kind of get in there and like break up the fight. Um
And
and
I
and
like,
both sides are like, get out of the way. Like we don't want to kill you, but we will, if we have to.
yeah, and I love how he walks up to her bodyguard and he's got his sword and he just the hate rage thing and he just bends
Yeah.
his sword and walks past
That's
him
super
like
soldier food.
He's
you're not the
Real.
one.
projecting the tendrils, these sort of CGI tendrils, right, that were on the boar
Right.
god as
Mm-hmm.
well. And as he's coming up, Lydia Boshi is eyeballing him as she's fighting San, but San is like so dialed in. That's one of my favorite moments too.
Yeah.
He gets in between, he holds them both. San starts biting him, going
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Then that stuff really starts coming out, and then she like wants off of him, so she starts like scratching to
Whoa.
get away. It made me laugh really
Right.
hard.
Yeah.
He's using his sword to like block Eboshi's sword, and he's like, "Look, stop! Like, I don't want either of you to like die. Like, I'm trying to, help you guys."
It says there's a demon in both of you, just like the
Yeah.
demon in me, and that demon is hatred. You know, and it's going to kill me one day. Everybody in the village, hatred is bad. We shouldn't be hating things. Let's get together. Then Iboshi says, "I'm sick of your curse. How about we just cut it off?" She tries to cut his arm off. He kind of knocks her out,
You know what
and
I'm realizing?
subdues San as well.
This is the first Wonder Woman movie.
Hmm.
This is a sort of godlike being exiled from a perfect society who
Mm-hmm.
has to go on a quest to find the source of hatred.
Whoa. Whoa. Yo. Okay. I like that take. It's Wonder
Right?
Woman for boys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wonder Man, if you
It
will.
kind of comes
Wonder
to the
Man.
conclusion at the end. I mean, she has the false idea of like, well, these people are doing this because they're polluted by Hades. Hades is making them hate. And at the end, the reveal is like, no, humans will always hate, right? And that kind of blows her mind. In this moment, when Ashitaka's saying, you guys are possessed of hate, he's not saying like, oh, and it's this mythical thing that's, part of this curse. I mean, it is truly that he's saying, like, don't you see this thing is all the same, and it is what is polluting us from like saving the world, from living our lives, from just like not killing ourselves. Like it's this horrible
Right.
cycle we're all stuck in.
Right. The samurais are hating that they can't have what you do. Like we could have a utopian society if we could just chill on the hating. And I like that that's
Yeah.
the message,
That's
right?
the message. Unfortunately, there's too many bad actors in the world that like
Yes.
I don't think that's a practical
Yeah. You're talking about Gal
vision for the
Gadot, a
real
literal
world.
bad actor. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, oh, that's funny.
That too.
That's good. Yeah, I
But
prefer
it's like
this
if you
version
went
of Wonder Woman.
to if you went to Putin and were like, "Hey, you stop attacking, Ukrainians stop fighting, like I'm gonna solve this," and then like it wouldn't work practically because
Same.
it's like, no, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
fucking idiot.
unfortunately. But in my fantasy
Unfortunately, no.
movie, I like that that's the
Yeah.
message. So he goes
Yeah.
now to take San back to the forest, and now we get the stretch of time where they're
Yeah.
spending some time together.
When he gets
Well,
shot
yo,
even as
straight
he's
up.
leaving the city.
Yeah,
like,
this. So I completely forgot.
Yes.
I've seen this movie a ton. I completely forgot about this moment. He knocks them out with his sword. He says they're okay. Who will take her?
carries
They
San
run
away.
over. One of them says like, she still killed my husband, and he kind of stares her down and says like, and that's something we're all gonna have to live with, or something like that,
Yeah.
right? As he turns, and the other woman's like, "Hey, you're gonna put your gun down, right?" And like elbows her, and she's like, "Bang!" And he gets shot, and they're all like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
He gets shot and he just keeps walking.
He
Just walking
never
slowly,
stops.
And
carrying
I'm gonna
San
walk
out. He's
out
like,
the
"Look,
gate
I'm leaving."
that I
Yeah.
came in this
I
morning.
will walk
can't
out the
open the
way I
gate.
came in. Yeah.
They're like,
That
"You know
one
what it
guy
says? Like, takes like
whispers,
10 guys to open this
"You don't
gate."
want to
He's like,
kick your ass, man. Like you're our friend." Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like,
yeah, they don't want to. Yeah,
"Yep."
everyone in the community likes Ashitaka, so they don't want to kill him. But
Yeah.
he's like, "Look, I'm opening this gate." And they're like, "That takes like 10 men to open." He's like, "I don't care. I'm opening
Yeah.
it."
I'm the Winter
And he
Soldier,
uses his
baby.
cursed arm.
His
Yeah,
super strength, and he rides away because the wolves come, and he says, "I've brought your sister," and they take off. He takes off on Yakult, and this great scene of her waking up and not realizing that like he has passed out probably like 10 minutes beforehand, right? Like he
Mhm.
is like dead, basically.
yeah. So they're like, "Let's take him to the deer god, who's the god of the forest, who has the ability to cure him." And the deer god is very important. There's different like nature gods. There's like the boar god, right? There's the wolf god, but the deer god is like the most powerful one of them all.
It's the forest of the
Um,
deer, this particular region. Yeah, it's the deity of this whole
okay.
region.
Yeah.
This
And so
reminded
we're
me a lot
taken
of
to a special
Nausicaa.
area.
When
Yeah.
they fall through the glider and they're passed out. I was like, oh, this is similar vibe.
Right. And there's like the golden tendrils, right? In Nausicaa.
Yeah,
That's like
there's a lot of this I don't like, and there is a moment later where it gets shot in the brain that I do not enjoy at all.
Whoa.
when the
That
deer
image
god gets
suffers
shot.
me. And his whole face
yeah.
changes. It's very
I
disturbing.
like the I
Oh,
like the deer god design, right? He's got like a
Oh.
very
Yeah.
he smiles at you. He's got a very nice looking face. He's got all these antlers and
Yeah.
stuff. But he also changes at night. He changes into like the night walker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so there's so I don't know what's going
as
on.
we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he's the god of life and death. And he has the ability to give you death or give you life.
And she submerges Ashitaka into the water, and the deer god ends up
Yes.
saving his life from the bullet wound, but not removing the curse. So,
Right. So yeah, he's
Or
still
the
cursed
scar
on the
on his
arm.
face.
yeah,
Mm.
Not very nice.
that's just for
Use that
character.
scar.
But also, do you
Yeah.
remember when the deer god first shows up? He can walk on water, right? Now, who
Yes.
is another famous guy who could walk on water? Can you
Oh,
think of any?
Aquaman.
SpongeBob.
My old friend JC,
James
Oh,
Cameron.
James
James
Corden.
Cameron.
Oh, that's right.
But I just thought that was interesting. Like, I don't know how much
Avatar,
Christianity
water.
influenced this movie, but there
Interesting.
obviously there's some connections between these different religions of like this Christ-like figure.
Is it kind of
Um,
do you call it a Kirin or a Quinlan, Mike? Like
uh,
the beer. Is that sort of what we're
Kirin is
going
like
for
a
here?
giraffe kind of thing.
Mm.
Okay. And more
Um,
like a dream god or something, I think
yeah,
sometimes.
it's not like a regular deer. I'm trying to see.
Yeah.
But really, Ashitaka is the Christ figure in this
Oh,
movie.
Mhm.
Where Jesus, he just wanted everyone to get along too.
oh
So
yeah.
Mhm.
He's willing to flip the tables if you're gambling in the church, but he wants you to
Damn.
get along.
right.
Remember when Jesus had that stigmata hand that had super strength?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yo.
Well, he died for our sins. Ashitaka like takes a bullet for
Yeah.
the sins of
When
Eboshi and
Jesus would
San.
pull back on that bowstring and just like fucking wreck fools. Do you remember?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let it rip.
Um anyways, so he submerged in the waters. The deer god shows up, like gives him a little kiss and is like, "Okay, I'm healing you."
I'm better.
Um
But not all the way.
and then San wants to like let the wolves eat him because she's like, "Well, like you stopped me from killing Eboshi."
Sorry, real quick. When he falls off Yakul, that scene where he hits the
Mhm.
ground and the first deer
Yeah.
runs up and shakes
Like,
his head really fast. That's
"Can I
always
eat it?"
made me
Yeah.
laugh. That the idea that your whole head would get bit by an animal and check like that would fuck you up immediately.
Mhm.
I also like when
Uh,
the apes show up, right? The apes, and they're like,
that's
"Oh,
right.
give us human. We must eat him." And they're
Yeah.
like, "No, you can't
Why?
eat him." He's like, "If we eat him, then we will gain his power, and the
We'll
other
get his
humans will stop
brains.
attacking us." Yeah,
Mhm.
We'll
because they,
evolve.
I like the apes. They just kind of show up and they throw some like rocks and twigs. They're like, "Hey,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
pay attention to us."
And very
Caesar.
defined for how little you see of them.
Yeah,
And then a great joke here, because that is the thing that pushes her to take him to the forest god of like, well, I'm not going to give him over to these apes. That's kind of a crazy thing. Let's see. If nature resurrects him, then, so be what it so be. And when he is brought back, he has this, he's very surprised by something she says. And she says, "Oh, I talked to Yakult. Like he told me everything. Like you forget that she was raised by wolves, so she speaks
yeah.
like all
I like the
animal
view.
language."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
She's like, "Oh, I know everything about you." She does this like, total face turn that's so funny.
Yeah.
I like when he's passed out and stuff too. She's like turns to Yakul and she's like, "Hey, let's be
Yeah.
friends. I'm gonna take
Can
care of your
you
master and stuff."
yeah, can you help me carry him?
Yeah.
Oh
And then
yeah,
she's
there's
He
like,
kind of like
You're free
shrugs.
to go."
Yeah.
right.
Takes off his harness and stuff. He's like,
Yeah.
You're free to do what you want now." But obviously he stays with
He's loyal to
Yeah,
Ashitaka.
because
Ashitaka.
Yakult loves him.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, so what happens next? He wakes up.
Well, basically, Jigo's now trying to get Eboshi to go kill the forest god, and then he's
Yes.
trying to get that not to happen. And the boars are also like, "Hey, we're gonna go kill all the humans. We're sick of this shit." And so these are kind of our escalating.
So they're
Yeah.
setting, yeah, Eboshi and Jigo are kind of setting up this trap for the boars. Um, and they're gonna have this big battle where all the boars and the boars, even the more of the wolf god says, like, "Oh yeah, well look, like the boars aren't dumb. Like they know that it's a trap, but they're still gonna charge anyway because like that's their nature. Like they'll just keep charging until the last one is dead." Um,
Yeah.
but basically they want to clear all the boars out of the woods so that Eboshi can then go in and like hunt the deer god, which is their ultimate goal, to
Yep.
behead the deer god, take its head, and take that to the emperor, basically, which is Jigo's plan. Um,
And the conversation that the boar god, I believe Otoko, who is played by
Hmm.
Keith David, our favorite
in the
gargoyle,
Heck
American,
yeah.
yes,
uh,
Keith David.
A
favorite
grocery
Ralph's
friend.
companion.
Hmm.
That's right. I always
Um,
see him at Ralph's.
always getting groceries together. Uh, says like, "Oh, we're the boar gods from this region. Hey, did one of my sons cause like a ruckus like somewhere over there?" And they're like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, he
like
did." And he's
yeah,
like, "Hey, I'm real sorry about that."
I'm,
Like he does like
like
throw
we're
out one of those
embarrassed
real
that that
quick.
happened.
Yeah, he's like,
Actually,
"That
yeah,
sucks that that happened. I want you to
yeah.
know though, if I see you again, I
I
will kill
will
you."
have to kill you. Yes.
Yeah.
And it sets up this whole thing of what the boars are up to, and it does set up the Jigo kind of scary thing for me when they wear the pelts of the
Yeah.
boars,
Yes,
right? To
the
trick
skilled
the
hunters.
yeah.
And
And
he.
and Okado, his eyesight is so bad that he does not even know. So when they basically trick him, because they all show up with the boar skins, he's like, "Oh, my sons have come back from the
You're alive,
afterlife. We
my
Mhm.
must charge
boys.
my." It's like, oh no, those are just like that's just the dead
I
skins
live
of other.
again.
Yeah, that was horrifying.
Yeah, that's some really dark shit. And like
Mhm.
Ashitaka's like, no, you don't understand. Like it's not what you think. Like you're being deceived. And then they all kind of like go up to him and like stab him and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like kind of fucked up.
Promise me you won't
Um,
turn into a worm monster, Ashitaka would say. And he
Yeah.
does break his vow on that.
yeah. So they're setting up this big battle, but meanwhile, Eboshi's setting up this whole trap, doesn't even realize that now the samurai are attacking the community. So she took all the men to go fight the boars, left
Mhm.
all the women to defend the ironworks, and Ashitaka goes by and like realizes like, oh, there's a bunch of samurai attacking at the gates. So he goes up, he's like, hey, are you guys like all right? Like, yeah, we can like hold it out and stuff, but like probably let Eboshi know that like we're being
They
attacked right
say,
now.
yeah, his favorite one, the girl who I believe is played by
Koki?
Jada Pinkett Smith in the
Yeah.
yes, she's so good. It's like, hey, will you go let her know? And later, when they're on the front lines and the leper's fixing her gun and says, "You think he's okay?" She's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, he's probably found her by now." Are you kidding? It's like how much trust they have in Ashitaka is so charming. I love it
Mhm.
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're able to hold out and defend the place pretty well from these samurai. But at the same time, like yeah, Eboshi doesn't realize like her focus on trying to get this deer godhead is like distracting her
So she's being
from
double
her
crossed
settlement being
by
attacked.
Jigo or
Yeah,
whatever. So
Yeah. And it almost feels like she's aware, like, this isn't in her best interest necessarily to go on this thing, but, like, the Emperor wants it. And
it's upsetting.
if
right.
not
And maybe
her,
allying
someone's
with
going to
the
have to do
empire.
it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
like
an
making an
ultimate
alliance with the
a
emperor could
reluctant,
probably help from. He might help her defend from other local shoguns that come
yeah.
attack or something.
There kind of is something that's also like it's another test for guns. Like she's killed so many gods at this point that you almost get the feeling that she's like, I wonder if I could kill the god.
The main
Right.
one, yeah. Um,
Yeah. So they set up this whole trap with the boars. The boars all charged. There's a big battle, and um, even in this battle, like we'll only see like sort of some flashes of it in flashback later. But they're like kicking over these bombs that are like destroying, like causing like big cave-ins, and like people and boars are like getting buried and stuff. And it's like pretty crazy.
I would hate to be killed by a boar that's like taller than me.
Yeah.
It seems
like,
so crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't want to get killed by a regular sized boar. They'll still tear you up. Even in
Yeah.
real
Right.
life, regular boars are pretty
No,
dangerous
no,
already.
thank you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to
Stay
get
away
killed by a
from that.
person in a boar pelt either. That's pretty
Fucking
bad.
No.
Pumbaa.
Yeah, no.
But Ashitaka shows up to this battlefield after like the battle's taken place, and there's just like dead bodies everywhere. Like it's pretty gruesome. And he's like, "Where's Eboshi? Oh, she went into the forest to go after the deer god." Okay, and that's when one of the wolf brothers, is buried under some boar bodies and stuff. So he helps
Yeah.
get him out. And I like this moment too, where like the soldiers are like, you know what? Let's help Ashitaka like get this wolf out. Like we don't need to be fighting. Like because at first they're like, oh, a wolf's still alive down here. Like we should probably like kill it. And then he's
Hmm.
like, no, we're saving this wolf. We're getting him out, and he'll take me to San, who will lead me to Eboshi.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's what they do.
It'll lead me to Maru. Is that what her name is?
Moro?
Moro,
Moro.
yeah,
it's the mom.
and Moro and Atoko,
Yeah, the other
Um,
boar.
Okado,
That's correct.
who have both been like severely injured
Yeah.
in this battle.
Yes.
They're
And,
yeah,
well, I do
Go
want
ahead.
to say that real quick. Lady Eboshi earlier said the first time the wolves attacked, watch out. A wolf can still bite even after it's lost its head. So
Yo.
just throwing that out there real quick.
Yep.
So they're so like San is like has left the battle. She's like taking Okado to the deer god again to potentially like save its life, and Moro. So they kind of all travel, and this is when the demon things start growing on him.
Yeah.
She's like, please don't change into a demon. Don't change a demon. Like I'm guiding you to the deer god. That's when the scouts attack with the boar skins and everything. The demon's taking over, and that's when they start growing so much, they start covering San, and she kind
She's
of gets
buried.
trapped within
She
his
gets
mouth.
captured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Eboshi and her party is kind of tracking them because she knows that San will lead her to the deer god. So Moro and Otako go to the deer Okado. Go to the deer god, who does appear and shows up and is like, guess what? I'm going to give you the gift of death instead of life, and basically gives them a peaceful death. These two old gods.
And they shoot him in the head for doing that.
Yeah. So Eboshi shows up, shoots him in the head, and it's like, oh, you actually can't kill him unless you shoot his head off, basically.
You can't kill him in good form, only in Nightwalker form, or maybe only mid-transformation, maybe?
Right.
Oh yeah, because they shoot him and then he sinks in the water, and then he heals, and then what do they just use a bigger gun?
Right. I think as it transforms into the Nightwalker, which it changes from day to night, as
They
it's
shoot it in
changing,
the
that's
neck
when
and then
Eboshi
separate the
beheads
head.
it. Yeah.
Right.
And it's like they need to immediately put the head in like a thing because it starts basically its body starts like shooting out like black goo everywhere.
Well,
and it's like, I'm looking for the head
the
to
body
reattach.
shoots out black slime. The head shoots out green goo, and anything the green goo touches turns to flowers, but anything the black slime touches gets the cursed mark.
Killed or
Dies. Yeah.
Yeah. And so all this black goo is spreading everywhere. So everyone's running away. The body is growing, looking for the head, reaching out with its neck or whatever, trying to reattach the head because it needs to reattach. And meanwhile, like, so they put the head in this metal pot, and they're just like trying to take it back to the emperor. And all this craziness is going down. Yeah.
How far?
Pay off for the weird shoes. He's, stepping through the slime, right?
Right. Yeah. But you're like, how far do you need to go before it would stop? Because it seems like its pursuit is relentless. Like it is
swallow the world.
Exactly. Right.
You're the king of nothing. This is the apocalypse. Yeah.
That's what Ashitaka is like. Eventually, like, look, you have to give the head back. Like, come on, like,
slowly.
Don't you see what's happening? And then even before Lady Eboshi kills it, he's like tries to make one last pleader of like, you don't need to do this. Like, please don't do this. And she does it anyways. But which starts this whole thing.
Yeah. Right. It says, like, you should go help fight the samurai. Don't do this. She's like, so you'd rather have me kill humans instead of gods? And he says, no, I don't want you to kill anybody. Can't you just work with the forest? Then he runs away.
Right.
How does Moro get their head cut off?
Well, Moro dies from the deer god because Moro's also injured. Oh, and then later on, like, Moro's head tries to attack or does attack
flies through the air.
Yeah,
because it's like reanimated by the black goo, so it comes back to life, bites off Eboshi's arm, and so she loses her arm in the process of like all of this.
And then Ashitaka refuses to leave her behind. He binds her wound and
even saves her after everything.
Yeah. So San, Ashitaka, Eboshi, and Jigo, right, are all escaping.
Well, Jigo and his men are like still trying to get away.
And they're trying to catch up to him to get that back.
Yeah. Like, can't you see, like, you need to give it back? And he's like, but I have to take it back to the emperor.
Yeah.
So finally,
there's one rock that's not dead yet. Like the final island.
Barely holding on.
Yeah. So he's like, fine,
so they offer
it up.
And the death god bends over and kind of puts his head back on, but really that just kind of turns him into smoke. He evaporates, and
basically that evaporates, but that causes a rebirth in the land. So all these plants and stuff start growing.
San and Ashitaka have the curse removed from them.
Right. Because they must lift up the head. It needs to be a human who lifts it up. And they start getting covered in curse and stuff. And then, but yeah, everything's better now. But of course, the settlement, under attack by the samurai, catches fire. Yes, also because it spreads everywhere. It's like we got to run away from the goo, and then
they go into the
causes
river,
the whole settlement to kind of catch on fire and burn down, basically.
Iron Town.
Yeah.
And then we all learn a valuable lesson.
That's right.
Gets
And then
that boy.
San is like, I love you, Ashitaka, but I also still hate humans, so I'm going to continue to live in the forest with my wolf brethren, but you can go live in the Iron Town, and then you can, you know, he's like, I'll come visit you all the time, and we'll live together, basically. We'll be alive together.
Lady Eboshi says, "Did I get a little power mad?" And as they're like putting a little cape over her stub, and she's like, "Yeah, you kind of did." And
She's like,
like,
maybe
all
I'll
right,
dial
I'll
it
scale
down.
back. We can
Mhm.
She's
try
like, oh,
again.
saved by a wolf after all that, too. And she's
Yeah.
like surprised that the wolf saved her.
Yep.
That's right.
Um,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. It's don't hate things. Um, I like, yeah,
No.
everybody
Boy.
has their little recognition. Now, maybe I industrialized too hard. Jigo's like, maybe I profit moded too hard. Maybe I hated humans too hard. And we all kind of, let's,
Right.
And
Everybody
there's
learns a
no,
lesson.
he's not going to go back to his original village with the lessons that he's learned from this.
No, he's going to live with
You
the Iron
outlined it.
people.
He's going to live in Irontown, which seems like settling. Not
Yeah.
literally that he's just going to a settlement, but literally physically just him settling to be like, I will do this because it gets me to the means of the end. I will live with San. There is just this emphasis of we will live. And it just asks you this question of, well, God, I almost said the title of one of the movies, of course, the original title for The Boy and the Heron. How do you live? I mean, it's
Yeah.
the question of this movie. How
Well,
do you live with all the things, these weighty themes we've discussed this whole time? How do you live?
and there's an earlier moment too where Moro is talking to San, and San is like, look, if you're gonna like die and sacrifice yourself in this fight, I want to die with you, basically, and sacrifice myself. And Moro's like, no, you can, there's a life for you with this boy here. Like, you can go live with the humans. She's like, no, I could never do that. But it's an alternative to the way that she grew up in nature. So
yeah, I like the scene with Ashitaka and Moro where she's like, what can you do for her? It's like, we can like live like human beings. She's like, she's not a human. Her parents were human
You're
and left
Yeah,
her
she's
killing
my
her
daughter.
by
in the
doing
woods.
this.
Yeah.
They threw her at
Her
me as
parents
they
were
fled.
human. Yeah, they sucked.
Yeah, she's
Like
not a
when they said
human,
that.
also not
My
an
ugly,
animal. Like
beautiful
she's
daughter.
something.
My
Yeah.
ugly, beautiful daughter. That's so great.
Yeah.
She doesn't look anything like a wolf.
Nope. But she's
I
my
also
daughter, damn it.
San is such a great character and has a great character design. I like when she wears her little mask when
Yeah.
she's riding on the wolf and stuff.
They have now since done this on stage, Jacob. I feel like it's a Halloween costume I've seen before. It is a
Yeah.
fucking iconic look. The little mask alone, the face
little
paint
fur.
by itself, the fur
Yeah.
that she's wearing like a little dress basically is kind of like very
She's the
cute too.
Princess
the princess of
Mononoke.
nature.
Yes,
It's very
she's
Breath of the Wild, like you said, Colin. Like
yes.
that whole game just feels very inspired
Yes.
by this movie and the
Oh.
aesthetics of this movie.
They don't let
Um,
you have a Yakult. You can only put horses. You can't bring the
Right.
elk into your stable. It's such bullshit.
That's sad. Yeah.
But yeah.
I also want to mention, you mentioned a little earlier, but this movie was unusual for Studio Ghibli because it did use a combination of hand-drawn animation and computer-generated
Oh, right.
imagery. Not a ton, because obviously Miyazaki had a very negative, like a distaste for digital animation, and always has for stuff like that. But there is like some amount of CGI combined with the hand drawn in this, which I think is very interesting.
It's primarily the tendrils. It's the overlays on the
Yeah.
gods, the sort of hate, and it is it's compositing. It's almost like rear projection, the ancient filmmaking technique where you're taking a plate and sort of putting it over top, and the fact that it is a hand drawn animation and the littlest bit of CGI, this is what animation should be. I mean, does it ever look
Yeah.
better than this movie that we just watched? I saw that
Yeah.
theaters now are doing 4K restoration showings. I can't imagine what the difference would be. This looks tremendous. So
Well, that's
Yeah.
my
And even
takeaway is I
Yeah,
only
go
saw it
ahead.
on VHS. So seeing this for the first time in HD, I was like, holy cow, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
sure.
And because of its large budget, again, the largest at the time of any animated film in Japan, and they could really spend a good amount of time on detail and even in the backgrounds and stuff because they had such a large budget. They had like 5 art directors, and so every shot, like the backgrounds are always so detailed. Like, and again, there's so many characters, so many different factions in this movie, and they all get this attention to detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like every character in this is iconic. Like every single character.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
God, what a point. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong.
From the gods to the humans, it's like everybody carries, even the lepers, you know?
Yeah, I love it. Princess Mononoke, great movie. And again, I just think of like the evolution from Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind to this movie. You know, Miyazaki's evolution as a filmmaker, and in his opinion on these themes of environmentalism and nature and stuff have developed over time. And so I think this is even a more nuanced film than Nausicaa, which I like Nausicaa a lot. And I was even thinking like Eboshi, very similar to the female
soldier
empress or whatever.
Yeah.
In Nausicaa, but a more nuanced version of that, where she's not like just evil for evil's sake. But yeah, so great movie, Princess Mononoke.
Well, let's oh, you know, I just realized. I was about to say, let's take an airship over to our final thoughts. Is this the only Miyazaki
no
film
airships
with
no
no
airplanes,
airship, not a single airship, right?
That is surprising. Obviously, he loves aviation and flying, but I think maybe because of the era it's set in, there's no way to like shoehorn in an airship.
And then Yakult gets hurt, so he takes a plane. They're like,
They probably pitched it.
Ohio.
Like, no, we can't have any planes in this one.
You do that. I don't know if it ever happened, but there was like drawings of like ninjas strapped to giant kites, and they would like fly up to castles. Like, could have done something like that.
No, he thought about it.
Yeah, I think they put that in.
All right, well, let's take the giant ninja kite over to our final thoughts here on Normies Like Us. We're back. We have laid to rest the freaky dear god of this podcast.
The Elden Beast, as it were.
That means we're done talking Hayao Miyazaki's masterpiece. It's Princess Mononoke here on Normies Like Us. As Miyazaki continued, we're in Novembazaki here. We're not ranking these quite yet. We're going to keep talking. We're going to keep doing our traditionally, I think mainly last episode of the month, right? Talking Miyazaki as we're doing here.
We have some holidays coming up, so subject to change. We'll let you know when we kind of sort that out.
It might be a little flux there.
Yeah, but, I mean, I believe the plan is we are going to be doing Spirited Away in December, which is the next film. So I'm very excited for that. I want to ask you guys, like, is your ranking, like, you don't have to give your ranking right now, but is your opinions of these films as we cover them chronologically changing over time? Like, are there ones that are rising for you or ones that are falling? Or is it kind of falling in your preconceived opinions of them?
There have been standouts, like things like Lupin, where I was like, whoa, wait, hold on, what?
Yeah.
And then there are these ones, Jacob, this very episode where I go like, I mean, how do you even beat the Juggernaut? How do you stop the #1 seed? Like, this seems undefeatable in my mind right now. How about you, Mike?
I'm feeling very similarly right now, especially having like lived a whole ass adult life and be like, dang, just hating people for no reason and dumb, like for misunderstanding's sake, and like, man, it's just so nuanced. So yeah, this one's, it rose. It was already high, and if possible, somehow it rose.
Yeah, it's like, come on, we're going triple platinum.
Yeah, basically.
I think this one I believe was like my #1 in my ranking before we started this, and I think it probably still is. Like, I think it's maybe his best film. I don't know if it's my personal favorite, because you know your personal favorite doesn't always have to be the best, and it's hard to choose a favorite, of course, because he does have so many that I like so much. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see where it all ends up. I mean, Spirited Away is what we're talking next, and I think that'll be interesting because that's another one that's like, that's the one that a lot of people point to of like, oh, this is his masterpiece, but maybe Princess Mononoke is his masterpiece.
Yeah,
it's all irrefutable. You could say any of them.
Yeah. Or even, you could say Boy in the Hand now. I like the
Jacob
Wind
doesn't like Howls. Jacob doesn't like Ponyo. I
Lower
don't like
on
Ponyo.
Yeah, I know some people are big Howl fans, but for me, it's a little lower. I'll have to see on rewatch where it lands. I think Boy and the Heron is a very strong late entry, and also
You
I think
love
Wind
Wind
Rises
Rises. Yeah, I was gonna
is
say. Yeah,
super
you love.
underrated. I think in terms of like when people talk about his whole filmography, like people don't talk about Wind Rises that much. I think that's such an underrated one. Maybe because it's more realist, like it's a biopic, which is interesting, and it's a more realistic, less fantastical than a lot of his movies. So maybe that turns people off. But I don't know.
You were saying this sort of his Lord of the Rings. Is this his most like fantastical in the sense of like there's not really any modern technology. Like it feels like a medieval
It's
vibe.
and then you're like,
There's
yeah,
no
but there's one
steampunk.
where like, but I know, but like Mike, but like we talked about a couple weeks ago, it's like, yeah, but there's one where there's a curse that turns a guy into a pig.
Yeah.
It's like that one's so realistic, meets so fantastical. And again,
Yeah.
that's the line this does so well. I mean, literally the one we talked about last month was a fucking little witch girl, but she also exists in
In
like
like
a
a European
fascist,
village.
like
Yeah.
normal world. Yeah, it's like I don't know. They're all so fantastical yet
Well, that's
so
what's
real.
I guess
this one is
Nausicaa's
interesting
pretty
because yeah, it's like a
that seems like pretty
historical
true.
period film, but it also had like everyone knows about and accepts that there are like forest gods that can talk to you
Of
and stuff.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Which is
is sort
something
of
you
like
would say, like, if you were some guy who every member of your family got killed by a giant pig, you'd be like, "That's the god of the forest."
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And like
Um
it is like this is very Japanese concepts of like we saw it in Totoro, the 1,000-year-old tree that we worship. Like there's a reverence for nature and
yeah.
like
We didn't
just
even
treat
talk
these
about
gods as if they're literal. I like that about this.
yeah. We didn't even talk about the Kodama, which are the little forest
Oh, the
spirit
little
guys that are in this
guys.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Their
famous
heads
as
kind of
well.
rotate and shake. Yeah.
They make that weird
We love little
noise.
guys. There's also oftentimes some little guys within a Miyazaki film that I like, and we'll see that in Spirited Away as well. I'm
We had
very
little
excited
dust
about
bunnies
that.
and
Yeah,
Totoro. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's right.
And little rabbit guys.
Um,
Um, I just want to shout out a little bit of things I thought were good attention to detail, just in generally really quick. Like when we're introduced to Ashitaka and he's going on his journey with Yakul, he's feeding him from the same bag he's eating from, which is a subtle way to show like he's got a connection with his animal. And then when we see Eboshi, they're whipping the cows to go up the hill, like no respect. And it's just these subtle ways to
right.
show the different relationships these characters have with nature, and even San being a family of animals. It's like that's just cool stuff that they're
Yeah.
doing.
It's almost like if animals could talk, then humans would realize that like we're not so different. Like speaking of Frankenstein, Del Toro in that movie, which I did see after our watcha, so I didn't mention on
Wow.
our watcha, but um, when Frankenstein creates his monster and but ends up hating him because he can only say Victor. That's the only word he knows. He doesn't know any other words until later. He's like, "You're so stupid. Like I would just say any other word, and I would respect you like as a sentient being, but you can't." And so he just immediately kind of like assumes that he's not an intelligent being. And then later, the monster learns like how to speak and stuff. And then he's like, well, if you could have done that the whole time, then maybe I wouldn't have hated you. So I
Dang.
don't know, but animals should learn how to talk is what I'm saying, basically.
Yeah, Puss in Boots style.
We'll learn how to talk to animals or something. You
Charlotte's
gotta
Web.
get all those buttons that you put on the ground, like those TikTok dogs that know how to talk.
Yeah.
That'll solve all of
But
our
I
problems
do
with
like those
nature.
buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. And then I was thinking, like, what if Nausicaa met Ashitaka? But I bet they would probably get along.
Oh,
This
they would
is
get along
one
great.
where again you're talking about like how hard Nausicaa ends Jacob, and how we really floated in that episode. Wow, couldn't you imagine like if he ever came back and did a sequel? This is one that is totally unnecessary, but if there was some movie about their daughter and like the weird life that Ashitaka like had to like give up a kid that like lives in the woods basically, I would adore that movie.
Sure, yeah.
The
Daughter of
countryside
Princess
lifestyle
Mononoke.
of the
Yeah.
daughter of
Yeah.
San and Ashitaka. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think
The
that one
princess
works.
of Princess Mononoke, like, yeah, what would you call it?
Right.
Oh
Daughter
yeah.
of Mononoke.
Daughter of Mononoke.
Mononoke no
It's interesting,
Musuko, something like that. Yeah.
Miyazaki famously never returned to any of his works to make a sequel. Like I said in the Porco Rosso, had planned to do a Porco Rosso sequel that never panned out, which is interesting that's the one he chose.
Spanish Civil War. I love it.
Yeah. But it's his films always
What?
leave you wanting more, even though it's not necessary to make a sequel. It's I
Yeah.
wish there was more just because I liked it so much.
And I misnamed it. It'd be Mononoke no Musume, Daughter of Mononoke. There you go. I keep thinking about Porco Rosso and how that should be required viewing for anybody on planet Earth, and that's the one I would recommend the dub, just because of Birdman,
Yeah,
But
sure. Michael Keaton.
these all leave you wanting
the
more,
best.
and I really enjoyed Mononoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, better a
Absolutely.
wolf than a fascist.
Better a wolf than a fascist, and better
That's right.
an iron worker than, I don't know, puppet for the emperor. How's that?
Yeah.
Well,
I think if you
That's a
are
private
interested
company,
in
at least.
well, you might be right.
and I'll just say if you're interested in Japanese history and stuff, this is a good one just because of the period nature of it. If you liked Shogun on TV, you might like this more than some of his other films. So check it out.
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke. Yeah.
I love his
Now-
categorization of the Shogun. Like Jacob said earlier, quickly, we're not focusing
He's a
on that
man.
because I think that whole thing was a mess. 300 years of war.
Yeah.
Miyazaki's like, that was bullshit. But nature,
Yeah.
nature's
Why
a
would
lot of
I talk
issues
about
with
these idiots?
yeah, his
Japanese
stance could not be
society and
clearer.
Japanese history. Yeah. And we'll examine more of his takes on World War II as well. Looking forward to that. But yeah.
Before the leprosy fully takes us over and this podcast comes to an end.
My arm.
Oh, my penis, it fell off. Why don't you go ahead
The
and tell us,
curse is
Jacob,
in
what's
my
coming out
penis.
next week? Bit of a debate, bit of a question mark.
Well, yeah, we're still sort of deciding off pod, but next week will be probably a TV, some new or recently aired TV that we'll be talking about, and maybe it'll be. I'm leaning towards it'll probably be something that's coming out this week. Actually, that's sort of the long-awaited return of a certain show that is the final season of this certain show. Maybe you can guess what it perhaps could be.
We're doing another Alien Earth episode. We're inviting Adam back, but this time you guys just have to listen to my takes.
Yes,
oh no,
That's right. No, I don't know how much we want to say at this point.
Maybe
but,
things will be getting strange on this podcast.
Ooh.
Maybe things will be getting strange.
I don't know what that could possibly be.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, you know what that show is popular with? Gen Veers, not Gen Xers. Gen Veers.
That's right.
Who knows? Who knows
Never
what
heard
we'll
of
be
that.
talking about? We don't know.
I think, I'm leaning towards, well, we want to see perhaps how strange things could be and if it's worth talking about now or we're waiting until it all comes out because of this. Yeah,
Either
because
way,
of this broken up release schedule, blah blah blah. Yeah.
You'll have this episode for your holiday season here. Happy Thanksgiving. We hope you either tune in before.
Celebrating.
You're right. Listen to this.
That's
one.
right. This is the last episode of November, and so we're coming on to December. We'll be doing some Christmassy holiday type episodes as well. So looking forward to that. Plus a big movie coming out. You might have heard of it. Not gonna say what it is.
But
David, the story of David and Goliath. Did you guys get that trailer for Predator Badlands?
Yes.
No.
But
very confusing.
Looking forward to it now. This Thanksgiving, if you're celebrating, use some of Ashitaka's conflict resolution skills. Instead of just arguing, maybe think to yourself, how could this person have arrived at this position?
Yes. Look at the world through someone
compassionate.
else's point of view. You know what they say? If you walk a mile in someone else's shoes, you never know what could happen. I don't know how that saying goes.
Ashitaka wouldn't be in the Epstein files.
No.
Well, he might be.
Do you
We
think
don't know.
Lady Abosha kind of a Ghislaine Maxwell type? Do you think that's what's going on here? Where is she getting this money and trafficking these girls?
Where is she getting the workers for the ironworks? All brothels? Pretty
I don't know.
suspicious.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
This all could have been just, covered in the sequel. We'll never know.
Oh,
We'll never
boy.
know. But, thanks for
That's what's
listening.
coming up.
That's
We
right.
appreciate you listening. I almost called it Mononoke
Mononucleosis.
Miyazaki Vember.
Mono
Yes.
for our
November.
coverage
I like that.
of our ongoing long form series. We've only got a couple left. We'll obviously be going further into next year, but then we'll be wrapping up and we'll be coming up with our next big
Probably
series.
only there's Spirited Away, there's Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo, Wind Rises, Boy and the Heron. So we have 5 left. So
Wow.
that'll take us into early next
Spring.
year, I guess.
Think about
Spring.
that.
All right.
But I think Spirited Away is a perfect one for the holiday season. Looking forward to that. And
Very much.
you've never seen that, Mike.
Nope. Looking forward to it.
That's gonna
Especially
be a
if it's a good holiday season.
Big first watch for you. Yeah.
Wow.
Get ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
All right, listeners. Well, as always, rate, review, subscribe. Check us out at normies_like_us on all social media. Check us out on YouTube. Helps us out if you rate, review, subscribe, as we said.
Yes.
Otherwise, we have been your hosts. This is Lady Colin Bosha.
Mikey Taka.
This is Jakul. I'm a red elk.
The red elk.
I've never seen
There
an
we
elk
go.
like that before.
No, me neither.
Yes.
All
We love
right.
it.
Well, catch you next time. Job.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.